Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Um, I am so excited to be here tonight with you guys. This is going to be such a treat, and I absolutely love the community vibe that we have going on. I mean, Q Sciences is really about community anyway, right? We're always here to help each other, but I think right now with Ashley Garcia stepping in and talking about recruiting and Helen coming in and talking about customer sales, I think I feel like we have a really good vibe going on here. And I'm super excited for this tonight. So thank you everyone who took the time out of your evenings to be here with us. I am basically going to hand the floor over to Helen, but I did want to touch on the one thing I did say this morning about follow-ups. You guys, follow-ups is something that have been really hard for me in my business. I do them, but I always have just a little bit of hesitation. Okay. I just have a little bit of hesitation. And it's because we are so conditioned to think, oh my gosh, I'm bugging them. They don't want to hear what I have to say. And mainly, maybe because we've had the same experiences. I know people are kind of trying to sell me stuff all the time, you know? But what I also don't like is when someone messages me, say I'm friends with someone, and they're like, oh, hey, would you mind checking out my catalog? I have a special going this month. And I'm like, you know what? I don't need it, or I'm not spending right now, or whatever the case is. And if like they go from talking to me all the time and then dropping me like a bad habit, like it's going to hurt my feelings. It's going to make me feel like all they cared about was a sale. So I want to challenge all of us. I'm going to close my Facebook real quick. Hold on, it's distracting me. I want to challenge all of us to really think about the relationship aspect. If someone says no, or even if they ghost us, I want to take that personal element out of it. I want to just erase that whole business aspect out of the conversation. It's totally okay to just go back to being a friend with these people. And I've had in plenty of experiences where someone just doesn't have the money and they're too embarrassed to say so. We're so conditioned to like feel like we have to be the baddest and the biggest and the richest and whatever, that people are just afraid to say, I can't afford that. I want to help you, but I can't afford that. Or I want that product for myself, but I can't afford that. And so we don't ever want to make someone feel like they're not valued or seen or heard. So I'm challenging myself and I'm challenging all of you that moving forward, that we start treating people after the no just like a normal human again. And I'm not saying that we're like bad people, that we don't do this ever, but I think maybe a little bit more intentionality behind that. Like I can tell you, I can go in my messenger right now and there's probably 20 conversations where I invited someone to come look at Q, or I sent them a follow-up about products and they responded to me and it wasn't what I wanted to hear, and then I didn't respond back to them. So holding myself accountable. On that note, I want to move the floor over to Helen. Helen, my dear friend, would you do me a favor and unmute yourself and take over? There she is.
Here we go.
Hi.
I apologize for jumping on late. Of course, when you need it, it doesn't work. So my computer wouldn't work on the internet tonight, so I had to change devices. So I had a really cool PowerPoint presentation, y'all, but it's on the computer. So, so you don't get that tonight, but I'll talk from my notes. Thank you. Thank you all for letting me just share a little bit with you tonight. I'm so glad Elizabeth asked, and I'm loving doing it. Just to start off saying, I don't share because I have all of the answers at all. I share because we're all in this together, just like Elizabeth was saying. And I'd love to share with you some things that have worked for me. And mostly just to let you know, we can all do this. Absolutely. If I can do this, you can do this. We can all do this. Is it work? Absolutely. Is it very fulfilling work? Absolutely. So we can all get this done. We can all do it. So that's really my reasoning behind. So I'd like to just kind of share just a few things with you tonight. And I broke it down into basically 4 categories on customer sales, customer acquisition, and customer retention, and then a few things on closing as well. The first thing that I thought about when I thought about my customer sales was consistency. So you have to think about, what does consistency mean? And if you think about what consistency means, it really depends on what platform you're using. Wouldn't you say that? But basically the question is, how do people know that your store is open for business? How do they know? What does your storefront look like? Not a literal brick and mortar storefront, but what does your storefront look like? How do they know you're open for business? Whether it's on a social media platform, on a one-on-one basis with people, do you talk about it? Do they know that you have something that might work for them? Whether or not you're holding events, whether or not you're holding samplings, how do people know that your store is open? And that's what you have to start with. They know it's open by what you tell them, by how much you advertise, and by how consistent you are in your advertising. If we advertise once, they don't hear from us until 6 weeks later, what are they going to think? I mean, seriously, what are they going to think? Too many multi-level marketing businesses are in existence today. And so many people start out and then stop, and start out and stop. So how do people know that you are still in business? Your store is still open. What does your storefront show? So regardless of your platform, that's the first question you ask yourself. How do they know? How do they know I'm in business? And then you have to ask yourself, what does consistency mean? And it came to mind for me that consistency, it's whatever it takes to let them know your store is open. Whatever it takes to let them know. So let's take Facebook, for example. Facebook is my personal platform. Is it all I use? No. We hold 3-day samplings. We hold events. We gather in people's homes. So I'm always one-on-one wherever I am. So is it the only thing? No. Is it where I get the most exposure? Absolutely. Absolutely. Wouldn't you agree that your social media, you're definitely there's no way that you can get 1,000 people to view in a room, but you can get 1,000 people to view a reel easily, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on Instagram, wherever the reel is, you can get it. So it's wherever you have your most exposure. So Facebook is definitely where I try to put my consistency in, and so that people know that I am actually open for business. They have to know. They have to know when you're open for business. So many familiar faces. I love so many of you already, and we all know. We've had the trainings on Facebook rhythms, so we all know that yes, you have to post consistently. What does it mean? It means 2 to 3 times a week, whatever your audience takes. Posting about your business, posting about your products, following those rhythms of Facebook. But the main thing, once again, is what is your audience expecting of you? So that's a question that we all need to ask ourselves. What are our audiences expecting of us? Have they seen us do? Do they know that we post on stories? So are they going to be looking for our stories? Do they know that we post on our actual page? Do they know that we do reels? What does your audience expect from you? And is it consistent? I really like interaction. I'm an educator. I love people that talk back to me. So if you have something there, any thoughts on that, please unmute if you have something to share there on being consistent, whatever platform you're on, and knowing your audience well enough to know what consistency means for your audience.
I am going to jump on here, and I want to say, first of all, I completely agree. I'm like a workaholic, so consistency is my middle name. I post pretty much every day, probably to a fault. But I will say that one thing that helped me the most in defining who I was as a business owner was trying different things. And I'm the same as Helen. I'm an educator. I love to share value. I love to share information about anything and everything. Why magnesium is important for the body. Why red light sauna is becoming the newest trend. You know what ice therapy is about. Like recipes. And once I started sharing those things on my social media, I started to realize how much people loved it. And while that's not necessarily getting someone to buy a product from me, what it's doing is creating a persona for me and my audience of things that they enjoy. They know when they come to my page, oh, Elizabeth's posting about probably some hippie stuff again. I don't know. She's posting about chakras again. Let me go read what she has to say about it, because that's like my thing. So it almost goes hand in hand with what your passion / niche is of, why do people come see you? What are they going to come to expect from you? And that came from trial and error for me.
Mm-hmm. Very much. And that was actually one of my hints for tonight too. And it goes into consistency and authenticity and just everything that you're doing. But one of the things that I did on Instagram and Facebook was to run my own unofficial survey of my audiences, my friends, who was watching me. And what times of the day. I know that you will hear experts say that there are certain times of the day that are best to post on Facebook, best to post on Instagram. But I thought, I'm not sure about that. When I first heard that, I didn't know that that fit my audience. And sure enough, when I posted at different times of the day and really researched my audience and where the most interaction was, it gave me a little bit of a different take on it. So that would be a hint, a suggestion that I would suggest for you is do a little unofficial survey. Just post at different times. When do you get on Facebook and just do a little bit of scrolling? We don't want to go down that black hole of scrolling, but just do a little bit of scrolling. And when do most people interact with you? Do they interact with your post early in the morning, lunchtime, evening, weekends, Saturdays? I know that a lot of people will say that Saturdays are not good. A lot of Saturdays are good for my audience. It just depends. So do your unofficial survey and just see what works for you, because that way you know when to post and what's going to best fit you. And then just what do I do? If I post to Facebook, I automatically post to Instagram. I have the two connected. My audiences on Instagram and Facebook are a little different. Facebook, my audiences share more personal things, usually just more things that are going on in their life. In Instagram, my Instagram audience is lots of businesses. So they expect you to be posting about your business. And so a little bit of different audiences on both of them. I will tell you that I normally, if I'm posting, I will post post about the business will be on my page, my actual page, and then products will be in my stories. Almost 100% that way. Not always, but almost 100%.
I agree. I'm the same way. Yeah. I also often do like themes of the day. Like sometimes I'll repurpose my content. Like I'll even if I make a really good business post today, I'll kind of let it run its course. And then maybe in a couple of days, I'll literally break that down paragraph into paragraph and put it in my stories and just kind of repurpose it. You can even do the same thing with a reel. But like repurposing your content is a whole training in itself. So we could always go down that
Yeah.
route. I want to show
Yeah.
you guys something. This is me pretending to go live. And if you, I don't know if you can see down here, but it tells me how many of my friends are online. I have 246 people online right now. So if you go into your Facebook and you hit the live button and you let it kind of just chill for a second, it will eventually generate a number of how many of your friends are online. That's a fantastic, Instagram does the same thing. It's a
And
fantastic.
Messenger will do that as well.
Oh, does it?
It will show you, their little green dots.
Oh yeah, the little on the top, yes. Yeah,
of
so
your friends that are actually active.
yes. And so you could even just come in here maybe 4 times a day for an entire week and just see how many people you have online throughout the week and track. I mean, this is typical business tactic strategies for, marketing. So,
And I promise you, what fit my audience was not the typical. So I was very glad that I'd done just a little research on that, so that I knew what fit my particular audience. So that was really good. But I do personally post business on my page, post products in my stories. Did another little unofficial survey of my own and some research, and posts get the fewest interactions for me. Stories get the next. Reels get huge amounts. Reels on Instagram get more than reels on Facebook. However, I can spend hours and hours and hours trying to do reels because I'm never pleased with a reel. So I don't know if you've been there and done that. So I have to watch myself on reels, and I'm still learning. I started with very simple ones and then just tried to add to it and did a little research, read on, watched some YouTube things, figuring out how to change it up a little bit. But I promise you, there's no way I could get 4,000 and 5,000 views on a post.
do you
and 4,000 and
ever,
5,000 views on a story.
Helen, do you ever have people reaching out to you from reels? Because that's my biggest struggle right now. Like, I actually love doing reels. They are time consuming, but I have a lot of fun with them, but I don't get any interaction from them. Like, I don't actually get sales from reels.
I do get interaction with reels.
Okay.
I can't tell you, actually did that translate into sales, but I do get a lot of people watching. So they're watching.
Yes. I mean, that's the important thing, right?
They're watching. And so eventually, but I know Heidi just said too, I saw your comment, that I struggle with reels just because it was a new process for me. I like to know everything about everything before I start something. And that was one thing I just had to jump into and play with it and learn as you go, which is what I did. But I will let myself spend forever on it. So I stepped away for a little bit, but I promise I really, really got tons of interaction with that. And I know Joe just had a comment there. Yeah, Joe said, I actually had one lady ask for some information on the new tea last night from the reel.
That's awesome.
Yeah. See, so I fully intend to continue with reels. I just had to step back a little bit because life got a little bit hectic this summer, just as Elizabeth was saying on our chat group today. For some reason, this seems to be the busiest summer for a while. Oh, I do like that, Heidi, a reel challenge. I like that.
I want to address Ginger's question. She asked if you do you see if there's a difference between Instagram or Facebook? I have a hard time keeping up with both. Some of the stuff is linked, but not always. I don't always post on Instagram. I prefer Facebook, but I don't want to leave money on the table. Ginger, in my personal opinion, I would stick and just find your zone of genius. Like, I don't feel like, I just don't think that we should be branching out into too many categories. Like, you're burning the candle at both ends. Like, I feel really positive in my Facebook interaction, but not enough to where I could leave Facebook alone and go like really dig. The thing is with Instagram is it requires a lot of energy, just like Facebook
Mhm,
does. You have to interact, you
mhm.
have to build relationships, you have to find your tribe, you have to find your people. And if you're not willing to commit that time, then there's really no point in you diving in my opinion.
I totally agree with that. I am so much more comfortable with Facebook. Um, I spend much more time on Facebook,
Yeah.
Ginger, much more time. I will post to both, and I will do the rhythm things of making sure that I interact with other people's posts for 5 to 10 minutes, on both before I'll post something. And that gets a lot more interaction as well. But I do not spend a lot of energy on Instagram, other than Reels, and they take a lot of Instagram. I mean, they take a lot of energy from me, but I love it. They're fun. I love it, so I will continue that. But it's a work in progress there. Definitely a work in progress. So being consistent, posting, um, and making sure that you're posting about business, you're posting about products as well. However, I will tell you that now Q has made it so awesome, for us to be able to rank up on customer side as well as building a team. So as you've heard Marielle say, you've heard Betsy say, you've heard Danielle say, follow your passion on that. Follow your passion. Marielle's comment recently was, yes, if customers is your thing, which she loves building a customer base too, but she said, don't totally give up on your team, because your team is going to be where you rank up faster, um, where you have more opportunity, basically, is what Marielle was saying. So kind of a combination of both. Um, Probably, and since we've now come out with the ranks and everything changed in February on our customer sales side, um, I've probably that's been where most of my money has come from, to be very honest. Yeah, are my customer sales. It was quite fun and very surprising when I saw my name on the 5,000 club list for customer sales at convention, and I didn't even know that was a recognition, but it was pretty fun to see that. And it's actually more since then. That's not to say, look at me or brag or anything in that way, but just once again to say, if I can do it, you can do it. And it's just a matter of being consistent, letting them know that your storefront is open, and choosing your platform, whatever platform that is. I have team members that are younger, and they're Snapchatters, so they'll use Snapchat. I have one team member that's older that prefers just to do one-on-one in-home events, that kind of thing. So it just really depends on where somebody feels comfortable. I totally agree with Elizabeth. Choose your lane and stick with your lane. I really do. And then when your lane plays out, maybe all of your warm market from that, maybe you're going to want to branch out to something else.
Yeah.
Danielle was saying the other night on our team call, our kickoff call, that you know some people will tell you, we've been told for quite a while now, don't do a private Facebook page because there's not as much exposure. However, if that's something you want to try, then try it. See where it leads, if you're ready to try something new, something different. I'm sorry, my dog is barking, so hope she's not too disruptive. Um, but you're consistent, whatever platform you're on. And with your consistency, there has to be authenticity. There has to be authenticity. Authenticity in what you post. Is even the language what you would use? We all know that when we post, sometimes we're rushing, the day's gone by. I could spend hours as well figuring out, okay, what do I post today? I am a person that tends to make shorter posts. I get all bogged down if a post is too long to read. So I tend to make shorter ones, but that's just my preference. And other people tell more of a story and actually share more. And that's great too. But authenticity being making sure that your words are your words and that you're honest about what you're sharing. So for instance, if I'm sharing products, I'm going to share what that product has done for me. What have I seen? Because when you build authenticity within your language, within your just overall aura of what you're presenting, then people are going to trust you. So if they trust you, then they're going to know, okay, Helen said this about this product. I may need to try it out, because they trust you. If truthfully, if you're salesy and you're sharing only Q Science graphics, only pre-done stuff, they'll actually really question whether or not you're authentic with what you're doing. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on authenticity? Anybody?
I guess I'll jump in because I actually, I always
You
have
do.
something to say.
I knew you did.
So yes, this is a subject I'm really.
Oh, my chicken is ready.
Your chicken is ready. Go see daddy. I am a long-winded poster. I tell many stories. I'm all about the storytelling. It's actually something I've done a lot of research about. Like I've like paid for trainings on telling your story. So I love that everyone has their own thing. And again, we're going to come back to your truth, right? Helen knows what she wants, what she brings to the table. She knows what she has to offer, and she knows how she wants to deliver it. I am the opposite. Both are very genuine and authentic. When people come to my
Mhm.
page, they know what they're going to expect from me. They know I'm going to be long-winded. They can either read it or they don't. It's
Mhm.
not. I post it because I wanted to talk about it.
And that's back
But
to your audience. What does your audience expect from you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Because even if it's not necessarily their style, it's what they expect from me. So we're writing back into that consistency, authenticity. Now, if I went on to, oh, I don't know, I'm trying to find someone, Brooke Lloyd's page, and I copied one of her posts and I just swung it right over my page, people would be like, what is this? This is not how she talks. I've literally had people message me and say, hey, what was that post all about? That's not your wording. I'd be like, wow, like literally not even joking. People have said that to me. And I'm like, so it's really important that and I'm not saying that I don't borrow other people's posts, because I do, but I think that we need to look it over and make sure it's something that would be in our authentic self, you know? I think borrowing concepts and templates and I have a whole folder in my phone of posts that I've taken from other leaders or other people. But making it your own is really important, because people feel that they can sense it a mile away. And if they feel like you're just dropping the same information as everyone else from Q Sciences, it doesn't feel good. Like I got a message from a Beachbody coach 3 days ago, and it was the exact message I used to send when I was a Beachbody coach 5 years ago. Do you know how disheartening that was for me? I was like, oh my God, this is literally the same practice. Like nothing has changed. She doesn't even know me. So just keep in mind that what we say makes, like, what we say and do makes an impact, you know, is what I was trying to say.
But, and just like I've heard you say before too, Elizabeth, some days are that way. We just don't have it's been busy. It's been crazy. We haven't had anything. So we jump to someone else's post and kind of reposted.
Yeah.
But I will promise you, I've seen posts reposted that had very personal things to that particular person that originally sent it. And the one that copied it didn't even change those very personal things.
Yikes.
So be cautious. Be cautious about that. Because people are looking for that. They're looking for your heart in this. They're looking for your sensitivity. They're looking for your passion with what you're doing. They don't want to be seen as a dollar sign.
Right.
And
And
hopefully that's not what we're in it for. Hopefully our heart is that we're here to help. We're here to serve. We have a product that works and we know they work. And we need to be open to say, okay, I have these products. I know they work. Let me tell you how they worked for me. You know what? And if something doesn't work as well for me, I'll share that too. I'm going to be very, very open and honest. And because of that, I have tried every product, I will tell you that I have, because I want to be able to be authentic. I want to be able to be real about it. I want to be able to say that I've done that. And this is what happened for me. And I'll have people that actually ask. Yeah. Oh, I think I interrupted you there, Elizabeth. Did I interrupt you?
oh, I was just gonna say that for me, I've come to a point in my business where if I feel rushed, if I didn't plan anything and I wasn't thinking ahead and my day gets away from me, I will choose not to post. Because I think that speaks
Mhm.
louder than just throwing something up on my page. I think that, first of all, we're all allowed to have days off of our business. People do not
Mhm.
expect us to be online all the time. And if we are, we're not setting good boundaries for self-care. So
And then
keeping
they'll
in,
probably wonder if we have a life too,
yes, yes. And
be
well, what
honest.
they're also going to think is, well, I can't do that. If she's going to invite me to the
Mhm.
business, but I can't do that because I can't be online all the time. I
Right,
see her online all the time. I can't do that. And
right.
they're going to think that that's what's expected to be in this business. And it's just not the truth. So if
No,
they don't see you taking days off, even if you post about it, even if you post a selfie, I'm taking the day off, peace.
right.
People need to know that. People need to know that we're not sitting in front of our phones all day long, you know?
Absolutely. And in life, there are times when other things have priority. They just do. And that's okay. That's the way it's supposed to be. The five F's, those
Yep.
have to be in order. And there are times, don't think your business has gone down the drain. Don't think that you can't pick it back up. You can. Will you have to follow some of the Facebook rhythms, to get things back going again? Yes. But we've all been there. We've all done that. Our businesses have survived.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
but it goes back to your customers need to see you consistently being authentic. And then after they see us consistently being authentic and we actually get them in because they've seen it, they know what we're about, then we have to take care of those customers. And I promise you that is the key, is taking care of your customers. Whether you take care of your prospects by being honest with them, by maybe asking lots of questions to see what they might need, what is there. I love Marielle's statement that she uses all the time about, if you could change one health concern of yours for the year 2022, what would it be? Which opens up the conversation of, well, we have this, this is how it works. Maybe it can help you. So, and that's where follow-up comes in too, just like we were saying earlier. Follow-up is important in taking care of your customers. It's important in taking care of your prospects, and it's important in taking care of your customers that are already customers. I On Marielle's call Monday night, people were questioning, how do you retain your customers? Because several were having a lot of trouble of customers just purchasing once and not purchasing again. Honestly, I'll tell you, I don't have much of that. I don't have much of that. My customers have, most of them, by far the majority, have been with me the entire time. I have had one or two that have tried things and felt like they just didn't see the effect, get the effect from it that they wanted, and that's perfectly fine. I understand that. They're still my friend. I still love them. But for the most part, and I truly believe it's because of what I call customer service. It's just taking care of them, letting them know that you're concerned, questioning. I contact my customers at least once a month, if not twice. Just say, how are you doing with your products? Any questions for me? just a very brief text. And they know that I'm going to do that. They know that I'm going to say what's going on. If they tell me that something is happening, they've got this going on, I might share another product. If there are new promos, if there are sales on products, I'm going to reach out to every single customer.
Yep.
And let them know that, because I don't want somebody to be left behind, and then they come to me and say, you didn't let me know about that sale, or you didn't let me know about that promo. So I'm going to contact customers at least once a month, normally twice a month, just depends. I think even if that customer base grows and grows and grows and grows, that's still going to be at the forefront of where I spend a lot of time. Because I shared with Elizabeth the other day, I grew up with a father that had a service station and record business. Customer service is what I grew up doing. And, I can remember people coming in when I worked my way up to the register, when I first started, actually had to fill cars with gas, but I finally worked up to the cash register. But, you would have people say, thank you for saying thank you. So it's just a matter of letting your customers know you appreciate them and you really care. I haven't come across a customer yet that I feel like I've bothered by checking in on them, that I feel like I've pressured them. Could you go that way? Yeah. Yeah. If you come across that you're just contacting them in order to try to make a sale, yeah. Because I do have some customers that don't order every month. Most are on auto ships, but some don't. So I will contact them. But if they tell me they're doing okay and fine, I'll say, great. Sounds good. I'm here if you have any questions. Thoughts on that? Truly, 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 the fortune is in the follow-up. There's a fine line. As we've talked about that already. There's a fine line by feeling that you're pressuring them, by feeling that you might be being too salesy. But we also know that statistics know that people need a lot of exposure a lot of times. And as far as customer service, think about this. I thought about this the other day as well. Think about all of the multi-level marketing companies that you purchase things from. I know I've purchased Park Lane jewelry. I know I've purchased household products. I know that I've purchased makeup, those kind of things. Think about the multi-level marketing. Which ones did you continue with? Out of the 3 or 4 that I purchased from, and I will tell you, 2 of those have what I consider awesome customer service. They check in with me. They make sure that I understand the website. They make sure that I understand that I don't miss any of the rewards that are going on within that site. But I have other people that I purchase from and still purchase from on a regular basis that have never checked in with me.
I will say I've had both of those experiences too. And I've actually switched ambassadors or associates within a company if I really truly love the product and I feel like the person I signed up under doesn't care about me, but I know someone else who I have created a strong bond with. I'll go with that other person.
Right.
I'll straight up change my customer account. I've done it. I also have been ordered from other MLMs or direct sales companies where the person has regularly checked in on me, made sure I knew about the sales happening. And even if I felt overwhelmed a time or two because I was like, oh, I just can't do that right now. That's my own trigger. That's not anything that they're doing wrong. That's just me being like, oh, I would love to go shopping. I just can't right now. So when we feel like we're bugging people, I truly think that a lot of the time it's our own perception of what we're scared of, what people might think. But you always have to come back to the authentic self. Am I bugging this person because I just want them to buy from me? Or do I truly care if their products are working for them? I personally send a care package to anyone who purchases from me. After they make a purchase, I will send them a couple things that I have in my home, just so they have an experience of other products. And I ask them to just give me their feedback. And that's
Mhm.
just of me thanking them, you know.
Right.
I personally, and I will be completely transparent with you guys. I've had portions of my business where I was very hustle and I was very like, I got to make sales, I got to make a goal, I got to hit a certain CV. And I bet you some of those people felt pressured by me and possibly even bought out of pressure. And I caught myself in a position in my business where I was like, this doesn't feel good to me.
Right.
And I have since had to back down and really find my place again. And that's taken a lot of work for me. And so I want you to know, as someone who's a leader, I'm not perfect. And I had to learn. I had to have an experience like that where it was like, wow, this is not coming. Like, of course I want to help people, but I was also seeking out my own paycheck. You know what I mean? And it just didn't feel good to me. It works for some people, but it didn't work for me. And you know
I have
what?
to,
None of those people order anymore, you
right.
know?
I have to totally agree with you because in my previous company, it was kind of stressed a lot that you had some major pushes at the end of the month and you were really, yes, over salesy, of just like you were saying, you were trying to make something happen. And when I finally realized how stressful that was for me, for one thing, and how it came across to other people, and found out that that was not true growth at all,
No.
because
Mm-mm.
that is not sustainable growth at
It's
all.
exhausting. It's what
It's
it is.
exhausting. It's not sustainable. Those people, like you said, Elizabeth, may purchase once and not purchase again, just because they felt obligated or pressured to help you out at that point. So I have come to the conclusion that I don't do that anymore. I want it to be organic. I want it to be natural. I want it to be natural growth. I want it to be sustainable growth. I want it to be people that are truly pleased with the products, um, that get that really have me to take care of them, and they know that I will take care of them. And there are all times when we can't purchase one month. We all have that time, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, we're all there at times, and with the economic things the way they are right now, that's just where we are. But I will tell you, just and we'll have. I know Elizabeth and I have talked about doing. We wanted to cover the consistency and the authenticity, the follow up tonight, but we will talk about 3-day samplings, just what my team has done, as far as those, and events, different things, different avenues to try, different outlets to try. But I'll tell you that samples have been a major part of my business. Um, I know it's not always possible to have all of those samples on hand, but as Jake has said, you really have to invest in your business. And Marielle will tell you, I don't know how many years it was before she ever saw a profit from her gyms. She spent hundreds and of thousands before she saw profit. So it's truly, samples are a huge portion of your business. So as soon as you can, as much as you can, sampling is important. And we'll talk more about that as well. But really and truly, I believe that there's nothing magical that I've done with my customers to retain my customers and keep them. And it's things that we can all do. It's just being consistent, letting them know that my storefront's open, being authentic with what I'm saying to them, doing for them. And another thing on your post, of course, and I took it for granted, people realize you don't just post about products and business. Okay, your Facebook is, they want to know about your life. They want to know about you. They want you to be authentic. So what's important to you is what you're going to share too. Because I'll share lots of things. I may share about my horses. I may share about scriptures. I may share about, whatever has really, touched me. If God has given me a message that I feel like might be helpful for something else. But whatever is your passion, that's what you're going to share. It's not just all about product, and it's not just all about the business. Even though we know that the products in the business can change lives, they just want to know about you.
Yes.
To build your influence, they want to know about you, especially Facebook, guys.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Especially
Facebook is
Facebook.
all about transparency. If you're not
Uh,
transparent, you've lost your people.
Instagram, like I said, they expect you to be about business. That's the expectation for it, not Facebook. Not Facebook.
Helen, before I let everyone go, because we've gone like, it's almost an hour, so I
Yeah.
hope you guys are all
Yeah.
okay. We're just over here blabbing. Thank you
Well,
guys
actually,
for
we
hanging in there
never-
with us.
And we never talked time, did we? I meant to ask you time.
Oh, it's okay. We're here. We're here. I wanted to address Heidi's question that she had right at the beginning. I hope she's even still on here.
She's here.
Perfect. She said suggestions on encouraging customers to take the products. I have a few people who have not fully experienced the Q core because they're not being consistent with it. How would you handle something like that?
I would, first of all, I'd question as to why were they not being consistent? Is it they just can't remember to take it? If that's the case, I offer suggestions of, okay, put it by this in the morning, so you make sure that you don't forget it. Or at night, put it by your bed. I might offer suggestions like that. Is it because it's so many capsules? Then I'm going to stress, I'm going to share Dr. Kimberly's thing of, you really need to, supplementation is important, and we know that we need to take the amount that's going to help, or why take it, type thing. So first of all, I'm going to question why, and then go from there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thoughts,
And-
Elizabeth, there?
I actually have a couple people who I've had the same experience with, and I also do the same things. I will suggest like setting an alarm or putting your Q core in your
Mhm.
purse, or maybe by your coffee pot, or wherever, we'll start to create that habit. But at the end of the day, we can only lead the horse to the water. There's only so much we can do. I've had people tell me that Q core didn't work, or it made them feel sluggish, or I've heard all kinds of things. And at the end of the day, like, you're not always going to be able to reach people. But I would definitely try and open up that line of communication and find out, like,
Mhm.
are they truly having a hard time taking all those supplements? Like, I know my husband can't take Q core unless he's eaten. It upsets his stomach.
Mhm.
So really trying to dig into those reasons. I try not to take my supplements until I eat either, because I take my supplements first thing in the morning and then I don't eat until like 3 hours later. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's kind of like a habit I've created. But I've been doing this for almost 2 years. So you need to just talk to people and really find out. And if it's too many supplements, you might start to find out that maybe there's something in there that's not making them feel good. I can't take Q-Max. It gives me terrible headaches. So I try and really find out what's going on with people. Like, why are you not taking this? Is it really not making you feel good? And you don't want to hurt my feelings, or, so that's probably.
Or you're just not good about supplementing. Some people just aren't good.
Some people don't
about
want to supplement. Yeah. And
Yep.
that's a place where we can't really help people,
Right. They just don't ever get into the routine of it. I do have one team member, in case anybody wants to know, she takes absolutely every bit of her Q core at night.
Really?
She takes, and she literally takes them all at the same time.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, she can swallow any number of pills at any time. So
There you
that's a
go.
suggestion also. I couldn't do that. I'm like Elizabeth. That would be very upsetting for my stomach. But, so it's just questioning, finding out why.
Yeah.
Questions for us, please. I know that, I hope that the comment, that things have been helpful for you and given you, maybe just spurred you into thinking about something. But just unmute and ask if you have any questions at all.
And we're going to be doing I know we definitely want to be doing some training on the 3-day sampling. I think that's something we really need to touch on, like ASAP. Hey, babe.
Mhm. I will tell you, we've had great success on our team with sampling.
Do you think you could
And we-
kind of write up a little, like like a step-by-step for us, maybe tomorrow or something, so that we can start getting moving on our own sampling challenges?
I can do that. I can do that. I will tell you that I took Heather Fridges. Heather had the huge, I don't know if any of you followed with Heather when she did those, and she had the very elaborate Facebook page that she did the 3-day sampling on. And I actually just pulled from that. And we do ours just in a chat group because I know people I'm like Elizabeth. I've heard people say all summer how busy it is. I know how busy my summer's been. So we streamlined it. And we try to keep it very simple and do it through a chat on Messenger. And it has worked well for us. I've gotten 4 and 5 customers at a time. So.
That's huge. I want that. Perfect. Let's do that. Okay. If no one has any other questions, we're going to wrap it up for tonight. And I appreciate everyone who is.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out with us like during this whole thing. That's fantastic. I appreciate you all.
Thank you, Helen and Elizabeth. I appreciate you guys.
I
You're
will
welcome.
have the recording available shortly.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Night, you guys.
Bye.